Raw sprouts. Raw sprouts have killed people. Not sickened, killed. And they were bought fresh from a clean grocery store by people who thought they were making a healthy choice. That's what makes them one of the most deceptive foods in your refrigerator right now. Here's the mechanism. Sprouts grow in warm, wet, dark conditions, which is basically a 5-star hotel for E. coli and Salmonella. The bacteria don't contaminate them during shipping. They grow with them from the seed itself through the entire sprouting process. By the time they hit your plate, the contamination is already baked in. Rinsing does nothing. Washing does nothing. The bacteria live inside the sprout tissue, not just on the surface. And because sprouts are almost always eaten raw, there's no heat to kill any of it. The CDC has linked sprout outbreaks to over 40 separate incidents in the last 30 years, including deaths. The fix: cook them. Even lightly stir-fried, the risk drops dramatically. If you eat them raw, buy from certified organic growers who test their seed batches. It's not a guarantee, but it cuts the risk. And if you're pregnant, elderly, or immunocompromised, skip them entirely. The health benefit is not worth the gamble. Deli Meats. Deli meats look about as harmless as food gets. Thinly sliced, vacuum-sealed, ready to go. They sit in the deli case looking clean and cold and completely fine. They are not fine. The bacteria you're dealing with here is Listeria monocytogenes. And unlike almost every other foodborne pathogen, Listeria thrives in cold temperatures. Your refrigerator doesn't slow it down. It actually keeps multiplying in there quietly, while the package sits on your shelf for days. But the bacterial risk is only half the story. Most deli meats are loaded with sodium nitrite, a preservative that converts inside your body into nitrosamines, compounds that damage DNA and are directly linked to colorectal cancer. This isn't a stretch or a fringe theory. It's why the World Health Organization classified processed meats as a Group 1 carcinogen, same category as tobacco. And because it's cumulative, it's not about the one sandwich you had last Tuesday. It's the sandwich you've had every week since college. Don't eliminate it entirely if you love it, but keep it to once a week max. Buy nitrite-free versions when possible. Never leave an open package in the fridge for more than 3 days. And if you do eat deli meats, make sure you heat them properly first. I left a simple kitchen thermometer in the description and pinned comment because most people think they've heated them enough, but they haven't. Bagged salads. Bagged salad is basically Instagram's idea of clean eating. Pre-washed, pre-cut, ready in 30 seconds. It practically winks at you from the produce aisle. And it is one of the most bacteria-contaminated foods you can buy. Here's the problem. The moment a leaf is cut, it starts releasing liquid. And that moisture, trapped inside a sealed plastic bag with limited oxygen, creates exactly the environment E. coli and Salmonella need to multiply. The triple-washed label means very little. Studies have found E. coli present in bagged salads even after the factory wash cycle. The bag itself makes it worse. When you mix contaminated leaves with a sealed environment for days of distribution and shelf time, you're not just buying a salad, you're buying whatever bacteria count had already built up by the time it got to you. And because you're eating it raw, there's nothing between you and whatever's in there. If you want greens, buy whole heads of lettuce and wash them yourself under running water right before eating. Yes, it takes longer, but a whole uncut head gives bacteria far fewer entry points and far less moisture to work with. That convenience in the bag is not worth the trade-off. Fresh cut fruit. Fresh cut fruit from the grocery store feels like the ultimate healthy shortcut. Pre-sliced melon, cubed pineapple, mixed berry bowls, all sitting in those clear plastic containers looking vibrant and ready. You know that moment when you grab one thinking you're being virtuous? That's the trap. Cutting fruit breaks the skin. And the skin is the fruit's defense system. Once that barrier is gone, bacteria get direct access to the wet, sugary flesh underneath, which is one of the best growth mediums that exists. Every surface the fruit touches after cutting, the knife, the cutting board, the container, the worker's hands, is a potential contamination point. The other issue is time. That container might have been cut 24, 48, even 72 hours before you picked it up. At room temperature, bacteria on cut fruit can double in population every 20 minutes. Even refrigerated, the growth continues, just slower. By the time you're eating it, what started as minor surface contamination can be a significant bacterial load. Buy whole fruit and cut it yourself right before eating. If you need convenience, buy it and eat it the same day. Don't let it sit. And if the container has any pooled liquid at the bottom, that's a sign bacterial breakdown is already happening. Put it back. Salmon. Farm-raised salmon specifically is one of the biggest health lies in the grocery store. It looks identical to wild-caught, it's often cheaper, and it's been quietly accumulating chemicals in its fat tissue for its entire life in ways that wild salmon simply don't. Here's what's happening. Farmed salmon are raised in overcrowded net pens, which means disease spreads fast. To manage that, they're routinely given antibiotics and pesticides, including a compound called cypermethrin, which is toxic to the nervous system. Because salmon are fatty fish, these chemicals don't flush out. They concentrate and store in the fat you eat. Then there's the color. Wild salmon is pink because it eats krill and shrimp in the ocean. Farmed salmon is naturally gray. The pink color you see in the store is added via synthetic astaxanthin, a petrochemical dye fed to the fish to make it look like something it's not. It's legal, it's not labeled, and you've been eating it assuming it was real. Look for wild-caught Pacific salmon specifically. Atlantic salmon is almost entirely farmed. Sockeye is a strong choice because it's rarely farmed. And yes, it costs more, but you're not just paying for fish. You're paying to not eat a decade's worth of accumulated pesticide runoff. Juices and smoothies. Juices and smoothies, specifically the store-bought ones, have mastered the art of looking like health food. Green bottles, fruit photography, words like cold-pressed, raw, no added sugar. And most of them are delivering a sugar hit your body processes almost identically to a can of soda. Here's the thing. When you juice fruit, you strip away the fiber. The fiber is the part that slows down sugar absorption in your gut. Without it, the fructose in juice hits your bloodstream fast, triggering an insulin spike, promoting fat storage in the liver, and starting a cycle of energy crash and hunger that leads you right back to eating more. This is true even for 100% pure juice with no additives. No added sugar doesn't mean low sugar. A single bottle of cold-pressed orange juice can contain 40 grams of sugar, more than most candy bars, because it takes multiple oranges to fill that bottle, and all their sugar is now concentrated into one drink with none of the fiber that would have slowed it down. Eat the fruit whole. If you want juice, squeeze it yourself and drink it immediately in small amounts, and read the label on anything in a bottle. If juice concentrate appears anywhere, it's essentially liquid sugar with branding. Multigrain bread. Multigrain bread sits on the shelf looking like the responsible adult choice. Multiple grains, hearty texture, maybe some seeds on top. It practically radiates wholesomeness. Most of it is white bread in a costume. Multigrain just means more than one type of grain was used. It says nothing about whether those grains are whole or refined. Most multigrain breads are made from refined flour, stripped of the bran and germ, which is where essentially all the fiber, vitamins, and minerals live, then mixed with a small amount of oats, millet, or seeds so the label can say multigrain without lying. What you're actually eating in most cases is a high glycemic bread that spikes your blood sugar almost as fast as white bread, hits you with unnecessary additives and preservatives to extend shelf life, and delivers very little nutritional value per slice. The ingredient list tells you everything. If whole wheat flour or whole grain flour isn't the very first ingredient, what follows it is mostly refined starch. Flip the loaf and read the first 3 ingredients before you buy anything. Look specifically for 100% whole grain or 100% whole wheat as the lead ingredient. And real whole grain bread is dense. If it feels light and fluffy like a pillow, it's not what the label is implying. Fruit yogurt. Fruit yogurt closes out this list not because it's the least harmful thing here, but because it's the most trusted. And that trust is exactly how it gets you. You buy it thinking you're doing something right. You eat it for breakfast, feeling virtuous. And you've started your day with the sugar content of a dessert. The average fruit yogurt contains between 15 and 28 grams of added sugar per serving. That fruit at the bottom, or stirred through, is almost never real fruit. It's fruit flavoring, fruit concentrate, or a jam-like compound made mostly of sugar, corn syrup, and artificial color. The strawberry in strawberry yogurt often contains no actual strawberry whatsoever. And the yogurt base itself isn't always the probiotic powerhouse it's marketed as. Pasteurized fruit yogurts are heated after the live cultures are added, which kills a significant portion of the bacteria that made the yogurt worth buying in the first place. You're left with a sweet, processed product that's doing far less for your gut than you think. Go with plain Greek yogurt, real protein, live cultures, and 0 added sugar. Then add your own fresh fruit, a drizzle of honey if you need sweetness, and you've actually built what the fruit yogurt was pretending to be. The flavored version is just marketing in a plastic cup. So, which one surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe if you want more videos like this. If you want the practical version of this video, I put together a short Amazon list with one useful tool or smarter swap for each item I mentioned. It's in the description and pinned comment.